We have been following micro algo stock on the channel for a while, and in this video, we're going to do some technical analysis to gauge when we can potentially see that short squeeze that we have all been waiting for and hoping for. So we'll look at some technical analysis, and I'll give you some more insights and show you like how it's pretty much going according to plan, what I said would happen in the previous videos, but I'll do an update on this video. But before we go forward, can you please do me a favor? Just hit that like button. That really helps me out a lot. Just take a moment right now to hit that like button. Let's try to get this video to 100 likes. That would mean a lot to me if this video can get to 100 likes. Okay, so let's move on with the analysis. This green line right here is like where we had the stock split. So if you remember the previous video where we did an update on MLGO, where I have this line drawn at around like say $5, like around like $6 is where we predict that the price can drop to, and I will go over how we came up with that number. So from here, we could potentially have another 35% to drop. So again, in this video, I'm not just going to give you like good news. I'm going to give you like everything that we can expect, and not to get your hopes up too high right now, because I will show you what it's looking like on the moving average. And so if you remember from the previous video, how we came up with that number was, if we go back and look at the previous stock split. So let's go back here. Let's look at the previous stock split. So this is one of them. And here we saw from the time of the stock split, it dropped 34%. So that's one data point. And then if we go back even further, the stock split before that one. So right around here, we see that the time from this stock split, it dropped around 60%. So using those two data points, we know that and that's not a bad thing, because you see like it dropped 60% and then it had the massive like short squeeze. So using those two data points and the fact that it did not break through this 50-day moving average, we're coming up with the prediction that, yeah, it could potentially drop another 60% post this stock split. And then if we go take a look at the 45-minute chart, see that it's still on a downtrend, exactly like I mentioned in the previous videos. So right now it's testing this 50-day moving average. Earlier, it was up almost 10%. So a lot of you got your hopes up, and hopefully you didn't buy thinking, that this was the start of a squeeze, because it was up 10%, which seems like a lot intraday. Which is a lot. And I could see how some people would think, okay, maybe this is the start of a rally. But if you follow me and you follow my channel, you know that we go based on the data points and the moving average. The moving averages are the best indicators. So here, I can even turn on the super trend. This is another indicator I use. So here we did get a buy signal. So that's a good sign. But I don't feel comfortable going into the trade and being comfortable that, okay, like we're on the cusp of a short squeeze until it breaks this 50-day moving average. And you see like how there's a huge gap and it's coming close. It came close. But from here, it could still reject off this 50-day moving average and keep trending down all the way down to like $5.28. At which point the moving average would also trend down and meet like close to the price point. So there wouldn't be a big gap between the price and the moving average trend line. But before we can see a short squeeze, we would have to see this price trade significantly above this moving average and stay up. And it could happen pretty drastically. So again, like you have to, so this is a very risky trade. This is a very risky stock. And this is purely speculation. So when you're trying to make money off speculation and like there's no fundamental to go off of, or there's no great news coming out, and nothing really significant happened during the shareholder meeting. So what we have to go based on is the technicals. So from here, like for example, we could wake up tomorrow and okay, just trade it up 30%, and it's like, let's see if it trades up 30%. Yeah, it's like right here, well above the moving average and start of a short squeeze. And you're like, man, I could have gone in at a 30% discount from if it does trades up 30% tomorrow. You could be like, I could have gotten in at a 30% discount. But again, you don't know. From here, if it drops another 30%, you're gonna feel pretty bad. Like, oh, I just lost like 30% of money. So if you put in like $1,000, it feels pretty shitty to like look at your account and be like, I'm down 300% and nothing's happening. Again, once it reaches this level, it's not a guarantee. Then we have to see what happens at this level. Does this act as a support? So we have to go based on the moving averages and play it safe. So the thing is, like, even if it does shoot up 30% tomorrow and it's trading above the moving averages and a huge volume comes in, so the volume would be the best indicator. Okay, there's new buyers coming in, and it's going to put pressure on the short sellers to cover their position. So it keeps dragging along this trend line and it keeps going down. And there's no clear, signal. But one day you just wake up, it trades up above 30%. Even at that point is from my point of view, is a better position to get in because you're still kind of getting in at the beginning of a potential short squeeze, because the short squeeze will last like 2 or 3 days. So that's a better position to get in than buy right now and hoping that you wake up tomorrow and it trades up, 30, 40% and you got in well below that short squeeze. So here, I want to show you this, and then now let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. So again, on the 15-minute chart, we see a buy signal, but again, it's not good enough right now because you see like the super trends are often very helpful, but you see like the moving average is like way more powerful. So even on the 15-minute chart, which is way more sensitive than the 4 hour or 1 day chart, you see that it's kind of on a downtrend. The best thing we can see it happen right now is that if it just trades sideways, I think from here it could drop down to $5.28 or about $6. But what we want to see is that if it just trades sideways and then we get a golden cross on the 15-day moving average, if it does a golden cross on the 15-minute chart and on the 45-minute chart, it's clearly trading above that 50-day moving average, that could be a good sign to like, okay, now take a position, get ready for that short squeeze. But overall, we're on a downtrend. Again, the 4 hour chart is greater indicator than the 45-minute chart. And you see like we're still on a pretty much downtrend. So at this point, I personally, again, nothing is financial advice or trading advice, for educational information purpose only. I personally still don't feel comfortable taking a position. And I am okay with the fact that if it does trade up 30% and we're at the beginning of a short squeeze. So let's take a look at like how a short squeeze could look on a 4 hour chart. Okay. So this is what I mean. So after this stock split, it was trending down, and then boom, you got your first major signal where it traded up 30%. So it would have been nice if you were like, okay, you got in like here. Again, that would be pure speculation and pure gamble because you had no idea that it wouldn't just keep going down, and you would feel pretty bad if it just like kept trading down and you lost all that money. But even from here, see, it traded up 30%, and that was a clear signal. Okay, we're start of some kind of squeeze because we had a big jump in price and a big jump in volume, relative volume. You see a huge jump in relative volume. So even if you got in at that price point, look, from here, you still could see a potential like 226%, or even if you got out like right here, even if you couldn't get out at the top, you got out right here, 100% rally you could have taken advantage of. So that's what I mean. Like now when we come back, yeah, from this point, because it traded up 10% earlier today, yeah, from this point tomorrow, you could wake up and it could be up another 30%. But from what the chart is looking like, that's not a risk that's worth taking. Just sit back. Again, do whatever you want. But for me, I'm just going to sit back and see what the chart keeps doing. And I am okay with missing out on that 30% intraday opportunity to take advantage of a bigger opportunity. And that's the best way to trade. Again, if you follow my videos, the point isn't to make a ton of money. The point is to like lose the least amount of money possible. For example, if we go back to the open stock, remember I called it, but when I called the open stock, it was trading at 71 cents and it rallied all the way up like 500%. But I told you in the video, I got out around like say like $1.80. So I only profited 150%. Again, I was happy with that because at that point it was kind of looking shaky and you can't predict. Like you have to be happy with the gains that you can achieve. Not imagine if you got in when I first made the video and you could have gotten out and you could have profited at a 200% or 180%, but you decided to be greedy and stay in, and you're like, okay, I'm at 500% profit now, and you think, oh, it's going to keep going up, but the next day it just dumps and it just keeps dumping, and now it's like all the way back to like $1.80. Again, you have to have an exit plan in mind. That's another thing. Like if you're trading, like you have to have an exit. Don't get too greedy. You have to have an exit plan. Look at the support and resistance and say like, no matter what happens, I'm getting out at this price point. So hopefully this video was helpful. It's a quick technical analysis. So the overall summary is like the stock's still on a downtrend. I do believe there's a short squeeze coming in the future, and I don't feel comfortable taking a position as of right now. I will make up-to-date videos if anything changes. So please subscribe, turn on your post notification, and like this video if you want the most up-to-date information. And I will make updates as the stock moves, as new news comes out that could potentially affect the stock price. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.